meeting, and thank you, of course, for taking the time to be here with us. It is now 7:35 p.m. And I do want to thank each board member, of course, for attending, and when I call your name, please reply by saying present. Ken Turner. Present. Bonnie Schwartz. Present. Lisa Fitz. Present. Richard Leman. Present. Ann Benefico. Present. Valerie Nelson. Present. Selena Chen. Present. And Mike Clark. Present. Good. So we do have a quorum, and we do have all 9 board members for the record attending. So of course we do have a quorum. And of course I also want to thank our library staff for their dedication to our work, for always serving the patrons and community. But before we proceed with this evening's agenda, let's select, this is kind of interesting, we're going to select a date for the October meeting. Now, I'm recommending these dates as a new slate of officers need to be elected as soon as possible, whoever they may be. The only ones it really truly affects are Ann and Bonnie, but I'm putting out there Tuesday, October 11th or Thursday, October 13th.
That's early.
It is early.
Very early.
Mike, are we able to get financials by the 11th?
Yeah, I believe so, but I also, I'm glad that we're doing it early because I have my budget cycle.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
the 11th
is it Tuesday the 13th?
I'm not sure we're gonna have the MasterCard by then.
Why can't you the following?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
It's just I wanted to get the slate, you know, I wanted to get the board seated and the officers elected as quickly as possible. But if you want to go to the next week,
Sworn in. Elected.
well, sworn in is,
No, officers. Officers. Excuse me. Gotcha.
well, then, then either October,
18th is good for me, October 18th.
could be the 18th or the 20th.
The 18th is good.
18th?
Ann, with you and I, 18th?
Well, the board has to agree on it anyway. So, all right, so do you want to do Tuesday the 18th?
Okay, how about the 19th?
Wednesday the 19th.
Yeah, I'm not in, so, but I'm traveling.
The whole week?
But yeah, I don't know when, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think since Valerie is a candidate, we owe it to her to make sure that she's here.
Yeah, we can always change the date, I suppose, depending on, I mean, because we might want to check with all of the, whoever wins tomorrow night. We might ask, we might want to see what date works for them, so I think just pick the date.
We've never done that before.
Yeah.
October 17th?
We never had 7 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, does October 17th work?
Because we would want everyone.
Valerie, does October 17th work? Does October 17th, Mike, does October 17th work?
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay, October 17th work?
All right, that's a Monday?
Yes.
All right, October 17th.
Like now.
Monday will be the next meeting. So before we continue with this evening's agenda, I really would love to say a few words. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Thank you. I want to thank each and every board member that's here for everything that they've done. I think our board has made tremendous strides moving forward with the improved design of the library interior, and we recognize this has not been an easy task whatsoever, but rather it's been a collaboration of 9 trustees and our director who care very deeply for the betterment of the library, our patrons in the community. Now, our officers, Ken, Bonnie, and Lisa, have an awful lot to be proud of, which is working with such an outstanding group of individuals, and I'm also very proud to work with everybody. In addition to the redesign, we, of course, appointed Jennifer Coulter as our director, who's moving the library into a new progressive direction. Our board has a strong and exciting relationship now with the Library Foundation, and of course, very much a thank you to Stephanie Sarkis, who is, of course, the president of the Library Foundation, and her board has just done an outstanding job, and we're certainly looking forward to their continued support. There are so many other tasks that were completed, such as the long-range planning document, which was really created and moved forward. Our legal team has worked countless hours working on so many issues. The Refresh Committee, as I call it, really should receive an award from the Design Institute, because you guys are amazing. Our HR committee has led skillfully in so many different ways, including working with civil service, which, as we all know, is no easy task, and creating a committee document that hopefully should be followed for future boards, and of course, amending bylaws. Our building committee has endured an awful lot of mechanicals, exterior maintenance, working, of course, to get the cottage ready for new tenants, and our programs committee really works tirelessly with the staff to deliver an abundance for our programs. I also want to thank Mike Lewis for his guidance and diligence, including getting us through multiple municipal audits, and of course Heidi Mardelli for her never-ending dedication as a public bookkeeper. And additionally, our staff is the key, really, to assisting all of our patrons. And thank you to our director, Jennifer, and Marilyn Coulter, Alan Ramsey, Susan Turner, Joshua Gash. And with the conclusion of this evening's board meeting, another chapter in our library has come to an end, as boards do change every year. And I hope that the new incoming board has the same drive and desire as our current board, and will continue along the same path of success. And I'm sure we can all agree that with the conclusion of this evening's board member, we find ourselves leaving the library in a much better way than when we were first seated as trustees. So thank you. So we will now proceed with this evening's agenda, and the board should be approving the minutes of the August 25th, 2022 Board of Trustees meeting. Has everyone read the minutes?
Yes.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it is passed.
Can I ask, there was one outstanding minutes that needed to be passed from last time.
Yes, there was.
Should we add that to now, or should we do that later?
Can you refresh my memory?
We had an executive.
Oh,
meeting,
right.
And those minutes have never been approved.
Does somebody have those?
I drafted them and I sent them out to everybody
I did read them.
a long time ago. They were where we approved some budget changes and.
Oh, yes, that's correct. Okay, did everyone get a chance to read Valerie's change?
Yes.
Okay, so we do also have to ratify those as well.
Let me find
Is,
them.
I have your email from August 8th and the minutes dated July 25th.
Folks had it was a. People need to see it again, how do you want to do that?
What was the date?
August 8th is the minutes.
Okay.
Does anyone need them? I don't think I got any comments, at least from my emails, I'm checking. It was pretty simple.
Yeah.
Meeting. So if someone wants to make a motion to approve them,
I make a motion to pass the minutes from July 25th emergency meeting.
I second.
Okay.
all those in favor?
Aye.
is there a second?
I second. I second.
Okay, so passed. And the additional minutes have also now been included in the we are now ready for our facilities update. Ken Gilman.
If you don't already know, there's a property health, there's a new boiler downstairs. Went in relatively easily, the old one went out very easily. The boiler that was in the old building was taken out last Monday. So there's a space available if anybody wants to rent it.
We've done enough renting for now.
The cottage, I guess, is up and ready to go. And other than that, building is in good shape. Just so that you do know, the boiler itself is turned off right now. It will be turned on probably in a couple of weeks so that you can get heat. But right now it's off, there's no reason for it to run, because all it does is run and make hot water, and nobody uses hot water. So, that's something that I instituted back last year, so that the boiler is running 365 days a year unnecessarily.
Is there oil in the tank?
Absolutely.
Good,
Any questions?
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is that it then? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken.
Mike Lewis, we will talk about our financial updates.
So, I'll say my speech at the end. But I want to go on with my presentation. So anyway, as I do every single month, I give you guys a comparative balance sheet, profit and loss comparison, and for informational purposes, a budget versus actual at a month-to-date and year-to-date perspective. So in regards to the balance sheet, which is on the screen, still a healthy cash balance of 1.6 million, down a little bit from 1.7 from a year ago today, but that's because obviously we're renovating as we speak. You'll see on the Schwab accounts, they are down approximately 67,000 from last year, but again, with the current market, it's so volatile, it goes down 1,000, goes up 100, so that's all market value losses, so I wouldn't be terribly concerned with that.
Mike, can I interrupt 1 second?
Yes.
Should we use some type of stopgap? Does that exist?
That might be a Chris question.
Could you follow up on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I know he mentioned something, they're phantom losses, and they have to go through the maturity, the principal is guaranteed.
He doesn't cash the bonds in, he keeps
Exactly.
them maturity.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
So
not.
what you're looking at here is, this is all paper.
It's all market
It's no
value.
loss,
It's
exactly.
not market
It's
value.
all market
Yeah,
value.
it's market value.
Yeah.
He was holding maturity, so they're.
Correct.
Correct. But if you want me to ask, that's no problem. I can just double check.
Thanks.
In regards to the liabilities, as you'll see, we now have the new tenant's security deposit, so that's now reflected in there. And as you'll see also, which is for revenue recognition principle, we have $258,000 in deferred revenue. And as the months go on, up until the end of the year, that'll end up going away, if you want to say. We recognize $64,000 on a pro rata monthly basis. If you go to the next page, this is the total equity as of August 31st. So again, total equity 2.1 million as opposed to 2.3 million from last year. The big swing is really the net income, but again, the reason why that 173,000 is in a negative is because of the renovations. So I'll talk about that in the end. So if you took that out, we're pretty much, at even position. So, is there any questions on the balance sheet? Okay. You go to the next page on the profit and loss. This is a year-to-date presentation through August of 2022. The total income for as of August is $532,000. And you'll see, the big ticket items are obviously the prorated tax levy, the gifts and donations from the foundation, and you'll also see that it's offset by these losses, these market value losses. So when you compare that to 2021, it's actually up $9,700. So it's relatively, the same comparatively. Library services, that's up about $7,600. There's some various increases, small increases, in adult books is one, up $1,700. The library materials, the 80/50 account, that's up about $3,100, and the programs are up about close to $1,700, which is the 82/40.
Just curious, the state aid, is that COVID related, or is that ongoing?
That's state, for the 2020, that's the 10% that we get.
LLSA.
Yeah, the LLSA, yes. Say that 5 times. If you go to the office G&A, up $4,900 from the prior year, or 5%. Again, you'll see a couple of increases and decreases that make that up. I'd probably say the office supplies make a good amount of that. That's $3,000. And the tax cert, that's about $2,000. But of course, there's always some offsets. Well, the accounting has to go up, so that's okay. That's a good variance to go up. But then you have some offsets, timing issues with legal fees, payroll service, etc. So relative, everything's pretty much in line. Properties and grounds, again, there you see the interior renovations, that pretty much makes up the full boat, $184,000. But of course, there's still increases, $244,000 total. Cottage maintenance, I think, as there was that asbestos removal and all that stuff. So that's pretty much what makes up the properties and grounds. Salaries and benefits, obviously, we're now, we fill some vacancies, we Chad full-time, library director, so as an increase in salaries, you have an increase in fringe benefits as well. If you go to the third page of this report, the technology is $45,000 versus $34,000. That's just probably timing in the billings, and the utilities are up $6,900. I think that's self-explanatory, obviously, the crazy world that we're living in right now. So, with all that said, the total expenses were $705,000 or $706,000 approximately. That's compared to $398,000. Different swing of $308,000 from the prior year, which yielded a net loss of $173,000. But the majority of that, or if not all of it, is really because of the interior design. So if you took that out of the equation, it'd still be in a positive flow. And then if you go to the final page, the final 3 pages, this is just the same presentation I just talked about, but it's more comparing a year-to-date actual to a year-to-date prorated budget. So you'll see that the prorated budget through 8 months is $537,000 opposed to $533,000, down $4,000. But I mean, it's relatively at 100%. If you took out those market value losses, we'd be way over, which is a good thing. Which a good amount of it would be because of the gifts and the donations that we got from the foundation. The library services, as of now, they're overexpended by $9,500. The majority of that is in the programs. Again, I would propose at the end of the year a budgetary to cover it. We have budgetary savings in other various appropriation lines, so as this board has talked about, investing in the program, so that's a good thing. So the Next page, page 203, the office G&A. That's down, or there's a budgetary savings of 6,700. You have a prorated contingency of 6,700 because your contingency is 10,000. So if you took that out, you're pretty much in line with office G&A. You're pretty much spending at 100%. Properties and grounds, again, interior renovations makes up pretty much all of it. Salaries and benefits, from a budgetary standpoint, is you're spending about approximately 69% of the prorated budget. But again, if you compare it from year-to-date actual to last year's, you are spending more on salaries and fringes. Technology on page 3. That's just this is just timing. It'll end up evening itself out when it's all said and done. And the utilities are up $6,100. And again, we did ultimate year-end analysis, and we'll cover those appropriations. And again, that's the 173,000 net loss.
Any questions for Mike? Oh, looks pretty straightforward, thank you. Is Ken Morrison here? A question for you. Since we do have new furnace, I don't know if you can answer this. Can we expect our fuel bill, oil bills to go down because of efficiency? Do they?
Obviously, depending on how old it is.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Do they give you a percentage?
Sorry, no. I mean, I can try to find out.
That's okay.
It's much more, certainly much more efficient than something that's
The problem
25,
is,
30 years old.
That's for sure. Okay, thank
the
you.
new furnaces save about 30%.
I'd like to see that.
No, they save about 30% efficiency, especially rather than so old. But if you have a cold winter
Well, that's true.
versus a warm winter,
Well, that's always the case.
But
All right.
Richard, also, oil is gonna go deep.
Yeah, it is that time of year again. Okay, let's talk about, discussion and approvals for all the warrants.
We got one last minute bill this evening, which is gonna add $75 for its adult program, which is gonna bring the new total to $53,436.10.
What was that amount?
53,436.10.
Okay. Does anyone, have any discussions on this? Any comments? Bonnie?
no.
Anybody charge tax that needs to be?
Everything was perfect.
Just an observation, I think the program has been really very, very interesting, and I salute the people who are involved in the city of that.
Okay, thank you. It's good to hear that. Okay, so the new adjusted amount is $53,436.10.
I make a motion that we approve $53,436.10.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the warrants have passed in the amount of $53,436.10. And how much is currently sitting in checking and what do we need to transfer?
So currently, based on Heidi looking, there's about 103,000. However, a good amount of that money is earmarked from the foundation money. So if you took that out, they probably wouldn't be.
Well, didn't we move that into money market? And keep the transactions totally separate?
I'd have to double check
I
that.
think that's what we had talked about.
Okay. Well, that's why, again, because I'm looking at the.
So look at your financials, everyone. If you notice the signature checking account,
So the signature went up.
so that's where it is.
Yep.
87, so I'm not sure if that transfer was not being
The only thing I transferred was, no, I only made $125,000 transfer the other direction. I don't think we did anything with that.
Okay,
Well, we need to keep we need to keep the foundation money separate.
yes.
So what are we talking about as far as the transfer?
So taking that aside,
Who's Heidi?
think of the.
Hi,
Hi,
Heidi.
how are you?
To confirm about whether that transfer had gone through the funds from the foundation.
Okay, repeat that, sorry. I didn't hear.
I'm sorry, I've got my mask on. I'm not sure if it was this meeting or the meeting before, there was a decision to transfer the funds that came in from the foundation to a separate account. Do you know if that transfer ever happened? You
No,
don't?
did not.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I was just saying, since I we have a lot
Yeah,
in the account,
Okay.
and then it's like, this
So-
fund was an account, and it wasn't in August, it came into July.
We did.
Yeah.
So
It did not get moved out.
when is the next bill that we're paying for?
I'll be going over that in the director's report.
Okay, all right, so we'll keep that separate for now. Then backing out the foundation.
so backing out the foundation money, I think we should move $70,000. That would cover this warrant and the next couple of payrolls.
Okay.
Because if you take out the foundation money, we probably have about 25 to 30,000 sitting in that account.
70,000, okay.
So-
Make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to transfer 70,000.
Is there a second?
I sent these things.
All in favor of moving 70,000 from money market to checking?
Yes.
Okay, so done. That's signature money market, signature checking operating. Okay.
Yeah, we have to make a motion to transfer out.
Yeah, what was the amount of the foundation?
It's in here.
76,182. Do you know off the top of your head? I think I got it somewhere.
Here, right.
Yeah, we could move the 76. I would
No,
move
let's move the exact amount.
the exact amount.
Yep. if we can find it.
76,182.
Yep, 76 then.
So I make a
76,
motion.
January 182?
76,182. I make a motion that we transfer out of the checking account, the foundation gift of $76,182 into a separate money market account.
Second.
All in favor of moving the foundation gift of $76,182 from the signature checking account to the signature money market account?
We should set up maybe a new market.
Why do we need a new, that's what I wanted to understand, why does anyone think we need a separate money market if we're spending the money?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not,
separate.
no, it's not gonna
Okay.
sit there for very long.
Yeah, that's
already
true.
there.
Yeah, it's just
Very
more,
fast.
it's just more bookkeeping.
Exactly,
Okay.
okay, so I think we just move it into the existing money
Into the-
market account.
Okay, so is there, we have a motion.
Ron,
Yeah.
make a motion.
All in favor?
Who seconded?
Mike?
Okay, Mike. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 76,182 will be transferred from the signature checking account to the signature money market account and marked as a gift from the foundation.
Exactly, I agree.
But that's okay, no, you want it,
Yeah, I know, you want
for
to
the,
know.
for audit purposes, they'll see that the money came in, got transferred.
Yeah, it's just cleanup.
And then when the money, and then when the expenses occur, we can draw it back, we can draw down on that.
Okay, so that should conclude the discussion on approvals for warrants. Thank you. Committee updates.
Before we
Oh.
go there, I'm gonna make it as two transactions then. All right?
Yes.
Yes.
And they'll probably be a day apart. I'll do the money market to checking first for 70,000, and then I'll move the 76,182.
Doesn't have to be together.
Yes.
Can we say it?
Well, I know that, I'll
We
figure
were
it
trying to
out.
be
Okay,
better. Yeah.
thanks, Cam. Okay, committee updates, interior project, Ann. you like to do?
Right here. Okay, so, the update is, well, let's start with the update in this room. For those of you who haven't seen the carpet yet, the new carpet's been installed. And we also have a beautiful acoustic tile up behind the screen there. It's in 3 pieces. You're not seeing the beautiful,
Library
rendition of our library, but that, thank you. So this is, the decorative acoustic,
really beautiful.
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
Really, like the whole.
And
room
has
is
been
amazing.
carpet looks beautiful too, I think.
Lisa, do you think it dampens the noise more?
I'm sorry?
I think it dampens the noise.
I mean, it's hard to tell. I think it was more done for performances and, I mean, not the general meeting.
So-
But the overall aesthetic of the room, I think was transformative.
It's real good.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the lighting is
Shades.
really good.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
lighting.
lighting's amazing.
There's just no dark spots.
I mean, I don't even see them.
And, thank you, Alan. And, Jennifer, we are going to be ordering, the chairs. That will be, that we will be doing. We had approved in the last meeting up to $3,600 for the chairs. And, so the final touches will be washing the windows and, the new, electric shades that are coming in. Regarding the interior refresh for the main part of the library, there's been a delay. Delays are to be expected. So September's going to be a very calm month here, and things are going to get rolling towards the end of October with the first thing, and basically the major order that we have for Media Technologies, which is our shelving, you know, a lot of the furniture, and they do have a lot of things already in the warehouse, but the shelves are coming from Michigan, and we have a promise of a November 18th ship date coming from Michigan, and hopefully by the 21st, everything should be here. In your Dropbox, I believe you all have the October, November, December calendar. Yeah. And you will see that, so basically things are going to start rolling at around October 24th, I think. Oh, good. Okay, so there we are. But move to, there we are. So October 24th is when the books are going to get boxed up. So today we had a walkthrough with Brad and two members of his team. I will call them the heavy lifting team. I have two big guys that looked around, and they're going to be in charge of taking down the shelving and installing. And the books are going to get boxed up. We are going to put them in pods. We're not putting anything in here, and they kind of have an idea of how many pods. It will take a lot of pods because I learned something new today that you can't put more than 4 boxes of books on top of each other, otherwise they crush. Okay. So basically, what's happening in the end of October? All our old furniture is being taken by people who committed. What's not being taken is John Buggers is coming, and the books are going to be removed. And then each week, we have something going on in November, starting with October 31st, November 1st. Wiring and electric gets done first, so that first week in November. Painting gets done the second week, the flooring is the third week, and the furniture and shelving is the fourth week. Not the unfortunate thing, because this is going to be beautiful, but a lot of this is going to happen during, Thanksgiving, and it's going to roll into that. But the end result is going to be fabulous. So that's the update. And I want to just mention to the board members that are leaving the board, please come in and stop by and see the progress.
Love to. Can't wait to see it.
Will there be any before and after pictures taken?
Lord, yes. I've been doing that. Just an asterisk onto the end of yours. This room will be open throughout the makeover, and the children's room will be open throughout the makeover. So programs will continue as planned. There'll be no disruption at all.
It sounds like they're making a lot of in and out in terms of things, open doors and things. I don't know whether that will speak to when the weather comes on. I guess I would just kind of connect with him if things get a little cool here.
There goes that savings.
It is true that door will be open a lot during, during the move. Yes. It was opening a lot today because the two gentlemen that were here with Brad didn't realize that when they were standing there, just opening and closing. Yes. So that's it. So September's going to kind of be quiet, and maybe the first 2 weeks of October, and then things are going to be set in motion. And there's a lot of moving parts, and all of these moving parts are, I have to thank Jennifer, because she's going to be she's been instrumental in making these moving parts move along harmoniously. Thank you, Jen. That's it. That's my update.
Thank you. Okay, new product timelines and the chaperone chairs.
Which we just covered.
We already covered that.
Those were first.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was.
Yeah.
Jennifer
That's
had
started
to
with
do
the
the
chaperone,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. Bonnie, talk to us about the parking lot. Lights.
Well, this past week, we had, two companies are very interested in bidding. Out of the 4 companies that were sent to the chiefs, 2 companies are very interested. Their electrical engineer came here and had to look at our boxes and everything. I've actually met 2 companies, one I met on a Sunday morning, and one I met on a Monday, and we walked the actual grounds itself, the parking lot, and potentially where they would park their equipment, which is going to be, not a problem, but I went through, there's an easement and there's a cottage, and there's also garbage, the bins over there, they can't block either. When the time comes, we're thinking about also asking the town if we can maybe park some equipment in the town park overnight, and it wouldn't interfere with any of their, programs, because then we bring up the equipment when, the next day in the morning, way before anyone probably uses the park, or it has any programs there. So the 2 companies were following through, and we're hoping that they submit this week, possibly next, at the latest. And so definitely by October, and I plan to call a meeting before our next meeting. If we do get these 2 bids, is when we can get it rolling. So maybe everyone on this table, we get it in before October 1st. You guys will be called one more time, just for a quick meeting to approve one of the bids. So that's what's happening with the parking lot. So it's exciting. A little bit.
So,
And
in terms of those equipment,
Yes.
where are these pods going? I'm trying to think of where.
Jennifer and I
they go.
discussed that, we think that, the company will take them off-site, right?
We're not definitely using pods yet. I'm getting a quote from pods as soon as I have the square footage of the number of boxes, et cetera, et cetera. But I've also contacted Iron Mountain to come in and look to also give us a quote. So they would basically pull the truck up, load it, get it out. So the pods won't live here, even if we do go with pods. It'll be one of the 2.
Not the shredder.
You know, one other thing, also, is when the trucks come to deliver or everything, like the day that, because I'm trying to think, weren't we talking about handicap, they're gonna be parked in our handicap spaces when big trucks, when they do?
When the furniture is delivered, this is not a long-term thing.
Okay,
They
it's
park it,
just,
get
so
it
it
out.
won't really affect, okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Like, you can give me nightmares.
You're good, you're good?
Yes.
Oh, cottage update. Okay, so the lease had been revised from 1 year to 2 years, which is really nice. It's now starting October 1st, which is great. Running October 1st, 22 through September 30th, 2024. They have already paid the library, first month, last month, and a month security, which is nice. Gave them permission. They put some shelving into the new garage, which is fine. We're actually allowing them to move in a few days earlier, which is not a big deal. So the library, the cottage, as far as I know, has been completely updated. There was some water leaking in, but I think it's determined that the Bilko doors probably need to be replaced because they're rusted and really old, and you just can't keep resealing them. So I guess we're looking into that as well. And of course, the washer dryer is downstairs, so we have to be careful with that. The remediation for the asbestos has been completely done as per federal guidelines. We already have received information on that, and federal guidelines also mandated air samples, which were done over time, and we have successfully passed that as well. So we're in good shape. I mean, it's really too bad that all of this is happening at once because it's expensive. You know, it's a very expensive project, but it's something as the landlord we have an obligation to do.
think, Richard, the one thing it says to me though is that some of the maintenance was really deferred for a very
Yes.
long period of time on the cottage. And so as we move forward, whoever is on this board next is just to make sure that someone's accountable to periodically check
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
To make sure.
No, I
And I don't
actually-
think we did that.
They do know that if there are any issues whatsoever, they are to notify Jennifer or a board member immediately about it, and will take the necessary steps to get it corrected. You know, if you recall, the garage was originally withdrawn from the lease because we just didn't know the condition of it. But it got done, it's done. So,
It came out beautiful, I know, remember, yes,
Yeah.
the garage, it came out beautiful. Those are custom made doors, unfortunately, because the way the garage is, because it's older, can't find doors that size anymore. I think, the builders did a great job, and, it looks great.
yeah, so they're very happy to be moving in, and we're glad to have these tenants. Let's see.
The only thing with water, and I know the doors, Jennifer's looking into it, but remember when I had the drain and everything redone and cleaned out and the rocks and everything, if you go down in the pathway, the rocks and drain, so that's something, Penn Gilman, shoot him an email every time that we had a big heavy rain today, but that drain needs to be really periodically checked, especially now because the leaves are coming down.
Yeah.
And that drain will get clogged, and that will definitely overflow.
So should that be checked on like on a monthly basis, or?
I think monthly,
Or
but
weekly?
Or after
weekly
rain.
while it's in, after
After
rains,
rain.
but at least weekly while we have the leaves coming down.
Right.
Okay.
And in fact, we should add that if it's not in the.
This is a perfect
facilities
segue to
management
the
job description, we should add
facilities
that.
management, which we skipped over.
Yes.
Do we get to meet the tenants? Is there any procedure for that, or invite them to a meeting, or?
You can.
North Star.
Go to the North
Yeah.
Star?
We're drinking, you'll
Oh.
these are-
North Star. Oh,
He's a bartender.
Yeah, okay.
And but you know something, it would be, we should mention something to the tenants as well. When you walk down the pathway, when you move down the pathway, the drain is right there on the right, and the rocks and everything, the drain has been cleaned. But they'll be able to see if there's ice damming or if there's leaves and stuff. And because that will definitely overflow, and overflow possibly into the house, hopefully not, but definitely probably into the basement if that's not cleaned or looked out periodically. And that's something just because, you know, the cottage is further down than the road level, so it's something that we can't do, can't help.
Okay, that sums up the committee updates.
Facilities, you have the facilities in there, the job description.
Facilities,
See
job
that
description,
before the
Oh.
job update.
above you.
Bonnie, go ahead.
Well, it's in your Dropbox.
Mhm.
Jennifer and I worked on it. We worked on it over a period of months. Am I right, Jennifer? We think we've included everything. This is things that anyone who's been at these meetings regularly know that, you know, I bring up some of these things periodically, that this needs to be done, this needs to be checked, this needs to be, I think it's a pretty good extensive list. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I think you have I'm glad we separated out the cottage, because I think sometimes, we know that's not thought of, or
Yes.
hasn't been in the past, so I think that's a pretty good add.
You want me to add check drainage in front of the cottage weekly?
It
Yeah.
says drainage is in there, but I think, yeah, I think
Maybe we should say
after
something.
a rain or something like that.
Yeah.
And the only, I mean, I think it's fine the way it is. I might separate the easement driveway from the cottage as two separate things, only because I think that's the other issue that we've had historically, Bonnie, where
Yeah, we
that
haven't
driveway hasn't been considered part of our property, and it is.
Yeah, and we haven't checked, just to let you know.
Yeah,
the
trees
view,
and all that
the
stuff.
trees and stuff,
Yes.
we've had trees where our neighbors have actually
Yes.
had to come to us and said there were dead
Trees
trees,
hanging, yeah.
and those dead trees fell, we are responsible for the easement back to their
Yeah.
actual driveways into their homes, so it's our responsibility to clear, whether it's snow removal, but tree removal, everything else.
I put in the word vegetation, is that clear enough, or should I?
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I just think, my suggestion would be separate them. The cottage is a list, and then the easement is a list of things, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Just to call it out, so
Yeah.
that it's clear.
That's a good suggestion.
Mhm.
Anything
I
else
agree.
on the maintenance?
Okay,
I mean, it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, so now we RFP this out, is that our plan?
Yeah, I think we should.
We bid it out and ask,
Yeah, I think
who
we
wants
should
to
put
bid
it,
on it?
I think we should put it in the rec review.
Yeah,
This would be a January 1st start.
yeah.
I think we should put it in the rec review, and I think we should put it on our website. And perhaps even Dave Goldberg's blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does everyone think?
Yeah, I think those are all good.
I think those are the three venues that we've used, the rec review.
There's
Yes.
also the Not-Kisco review that I've been getting, I'm sure you guys have all been getting as well. It's like the Bedford and Pound Ridge review, but then it's also Mount Kisco, which you might get if
Okay.
you're not getting enough.
Okay, that's a
Interest.
great suggestion.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we should also make sure Ken knows that we're bidding it out. I mean, he knows, but I'm saying, giving him the list.
It would be good
He wants to
to-
bid on it if he wants to.
Just to let you
That's
know,
all.
Ken helped us with some of these things on the list, which was very nice.
Yeah, no, that's right, I just,
So,
he knew.
Does anybody know if he wants to?
I don't know, that's what I thought, we should at least send it to him and say,
Yeah,
what's
he
he
just
just
wants to
I know
know.
that.
All right, that's fine. Good.
so does everyone,
Yeah,
is everyone
I think those are
in
all
agreement to
good.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for doing it. Great.
Yeah, it's good. One of the
Thank-
ones-
and thank
one of the
you.
ones we missed when we did all those.
And thank Jennifer too.
Thank you, Jennifer. Very good.
Okay, director's report. Jen?
Okay. You can go on to the next page.
Yes.
Okay, so just an update on the interior. You saw that the official start date now is October 23rd. Can you go to the next slide, please? Just some of the logistics for the interior project. We're going to advertise as closed for browsing, open for business, but closed for browsing. The back or side door here is what's going to be used for the patron entrance. Checkout is going to be in the break room. The front doors are going to be used solely for the vendors to get in and out. The chaperone room, as I said, is going to be open throughout. Programs will be held as usual. The children's room will be open throughout using the children's room door, and programs will be held as usual. So depending on if we get any snow, that might be a little bit of an issue, but we'll do the best we can, hopefully. If you can go to the next slide, please, Alan. Just wanted to give you a brief summary of the costs to date, what we spent, what we're contracted to spend, and what we've remitted to date, and that includes shelving, furniture, painting, electric, flooring, the court's countertop for the circ desk, signage, additional carpentry, and miscellaneous expense. I did want to mention the junk luggers was going to be 3 to 4 full trucks full. I found a person who wants to take all of the rest of the furniture. The
Really?
only thing that we weren't able to get rid of was the circulation desk, and there's some junk in the basement and electronics that
Oh,
have
that's
to
great.
go. But I was so thrilled. So
Amazing.
yeah, I think we're down to maybe 1 truck. So that's fantastic. The second slide, if you would move on, please, Alan, is the chaperone project, just status of the projects, including items pending. So as you can see, the painting's been done, and that cost was covered by the library board. The art track, the carpet, the lighting, and the acoustic panels were all covered by the foundation. Thank you. Still pending is the audio, hoping for installation in October or November. The motorized window shades will be installed, I just heard today, October 31st to November 1st. And the chairs will be ordered tomorrow, and will be here in time for the foundation events that are upcoming. If you can go to the next slide. I am going to suggest some carpentry in the reading room. We have 6 of these radiators with covers on them. Those radiators were feeding from the furnace that was underneath that's been yanked out, and so they're really not doing anything except taking up space. So while the gentleman was here to work on the smart thermostats, I asked him what it would cost to remove these radiators, cap them off, and open them up to use as shelving. And he said it would not be expensive at all. He gave me a round figure of around $2,500. That's including the carpentry, which he also does, by the way. So I will get you a proposal on that, but it could add as much as 360 book capacity to the room, which is not insignificant, so I'm very pleased about that. So I'll get you some proposals for that.
Great.
The last slide is on, or excuse me, next last slide. Bilco doors for the cottage. A gentleman came, our friend Mike, who lives just down the street, to give us a quote. What he recommended was because the Bilco doors are rusted out, there's holes, they've been patched several times, they've just gone past their useful life, it's time to replace them. But it's not just a matter of lowering it into place, he wants to build up around it with stone or cinder block to raise it up so that if it does start flooding in that area, we're not gonna have the same problem. So that's why the number is not just, you know, a straight replace of Bilco doors. So this is one of 2 more quotes I'll get for you, but I didn't know how urgent the situation is. Do we want them replaced and installed and ready to go by the time the tenant moves in on October 1st, in which case do we just go with this person? Or no, it's gonna have to go through the whole bidding process and let the chips fall, I don't know.
Well, since we fixed the drain, it was like damp down there, but it dried up, and that was a very heavy rain. I mean, it's not the rain that, before the drain, it was like two inches. This was a dampness.
Yeah, but
I
I'm not
think to have a
looking,
tenant.
Stephanie, go ahead.
I'm so sorry to be
No,
interrupting, but
please.
to have a tenant moving in October 1st, if this gentleman is available, I think it's much easier to do the work while it's vacant. If
Yeah,
that-
I kind of look at it almost as, you know, we've done so much work to it. We don't need to add moisture into the house, even if it's the basement, even considering the age. I'm kind of looking at this kind of like an emergency repair.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I guess we need to talk about that. I don't think this is something that really should be waiting.
Okay, this guy's great, he lives right next door to us. He's over here.
He's the one who rescued us when we had the
Yeah,
the
we're
water column, so hopefully
You
he's.
know, he's the outsider, he rescued us, and he's,
Yeah, right, yes.
Do you know that he's available?
I do not know that he's available, I will ask. I did look up the cost of Bilco doors on Home Depot, and it was anywhere from $950 to $1,550. So, you know, I don't know which
Plus
one is
labor.
but I checked with my partner who's a builder, and he says that this building up of stone, that is not a quick and easy job, that it's time consuming and it's expensive and it's dirty, that's why the number is so high.
okay, then I make a motion that we, on an emergency repair basis, that we hire FJX for the tune of, let's just round $4,650 to replace the Bilco doors and everything else that he mentioned on his list.
What do we bump it to 5,000 just in case there's something else on there?
Okay, so I make a motion up to $5,000.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, emergency repair has been
Thank you.
approved for up to $5,000.
Next slide, please. Okay, so just an update on the election. It's tomorrow from 2 to 8. Absentee ballots are still available at the circulation desk and can be mailed to you. The candidates, Mike, you maybe want to talk about your creation back here?
I'll accept credit for the concept, but Kathy wrote for the execution. As we discussed the election of the past several weeks with a lot of our friends, we realized that a lot of people were not getting to the website, not really educating themselves. So I think that people will walk in kind of not knowing the candidates when they vote. So we put together this, which is really just everybody's answers to their questions. And we made it into a little kind of high school science project. And, we thought that would be good in the voting areas before they vote, so just to educate them.
It's a great idea. We'll do that again next year. Okay, so there are some things we need to discuss. The candidates are not allowed to electioneer within 100 feet of the voting site, and voting closes at 8 p.m. Some of the candidates we're thinking might want to come and be present for the announcement of the results. Usually between 9 and 10 o'clock, might even be later due to the large number of candidates there's going to be. I was wondering how the board felt about allowing that. I didn't want to be caught unawares and unprepared, so any feelings about that from anybody?
How many workers will be here, 2?
I'll be here and Alan will be here to certify the results as a notary public.
But when we vote, there's people.
2 election years.
2 election years, that's what I would recall.
But then
Sorry,
you have to
I
count
thought
absentee
And
ballots too.
are they responsible?
And they don't want anybody around us in the county.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they want anyone in where they're
Well,
counting.
usually they count them here.
Right.
And the
No,
doors just
certainly
get
nobody will
closed.
be allowed in this room.
Right.
I'm saying if they want to camp out in the lobby,
What's the usual procedure if people don't hang out? When do they find out?
they're notified that night by email.
I don't see any reason why they can't be here. as long as they're obviously not dealing with the Westchester County,
I don't know if that's
I mean, the library's closed, I mean, the library was closed at 8. So now staff has to stay and watch them and people, you know, I don't know, they're gonna use the bathrooms, they're gonna be wandering the library, I don't know if it's necessary. They're gonna get notified, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I had another
They
question, I'm
also
sorry.
have to count the absentee ballots.
Yeah, it could take long.
So it could take long
I
after.
think it's gonna be,
Because the absentee ballots, I have to make sure
That
they're
they're
filled out
registered
properly.
and they're registered.
And they're
to vote.
registered, and
Yeah.
so, someone has to read the name,
Yep.
go in the
Yeah.
book and find their name.
So the absentee ballots had this thing about voting district, which was an education for me. I assume when people come in to vote tomorrow, they also have to know their voting district?
They do not.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No,
Most
it's
people,
all-
I
it's all
saw
on-
this road, Pound Ridge in Westchester County, people did not write their voting.
So that's what,
district.
if you look at the top there, I put the website where I finally figured out what my voting district was, so in case anybody needs that,
well, thank you, no, it's just all one book and
Yeah.
okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
I have a question. I assume we can vote.
Oh, yeah.
Election year. So like, I just want to make sure that we're here to vote and then we just leave like everybody else, right? Is that?
Pretty
Yes.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was, Richard and I can tell you, that there was a very, spirited election several years ago, and there were actually people outside, kind of campaigning, and that's not allowed within 100 feet, so there was someone out there that actually had to tell them they had to move back, they weren't allowed to campaign or anything, so basically, when you're a candidate, they would watch all the process.
Yeah.
Will there be markers showing, 100-foot radius from?
Yeah, it's basically the top of the stairs out there and at the end of the walkway at the
They
front door.
usually have those paper signs that they put up.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yes, some people could be in the parking lot, trying to get people to vote.
Yeah, they can if they want.
And you're doing this mask option?
Yes. Okay.
So, what do we want to do?
I think it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I think it
Just
causes
close the
more
library.
stress for anyone that's here working or staff than they need, personally.
So how are we going to announce the,
Just on email.
Just as we always have by email.
By email.
And the doors get locked.
I guess I will.
Everyone gets kicked out. That's when voting is over.
well, the results will be, how hard would it be to post the results tomorrow evening on the
No,
website?
no, it's, yeah, instant, no problem. As soon as I get the results.
And then it'll be on the website,
Right.
which is fine.
But I also think she has, I guess I'm just trying to share, again, Smiley, everyone can jump in. At 8 o'clock when it's over, not just close these doors, lock the outside doors to the library.
That's fine.
Right? Nobody should come in at 8:05 and say, I still need to vote. Where I want to hang out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Presidential election? Oh, sorry.
So I'm on the website, the library website right now. This is online or this is not online?
Yes.
This is
Yeah,
online.
It is on.
Okay.
If you click on,
Click on
that's
where
what
it
I did.
says, click on where it says voting, and then each of the profiles come up.
Then the bio is that. Oh, okay, so it's just the bio.
It was, anyway, it was very, very well organized. It's just, it's just a subset of people I think don't
Bio and then.
access it that way.
Bio, okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, there was no way to leave everything
Yeah,
just
it would've
open,
been
like,
hard
you would
to-
have scrolled for
if
a
it was
month
all-
looking for
If one, it
it.
would have been hard to.
Okay, great, so, moving on to upcoming events, the first thing is Harvest Festival, which is on October 1st. We're sponsoring a table at the children's game section and, of course, our library table, which will be, manned by both staff and trustees. I know Bonnie and Anne will be there. And for our, for our promotional giveaways, we're doing our tote bags as always. We're going to be adding in book lights this year. And at request of Valerie, I've ordered pencils and erasers, but they're not your usual pencils and erasers. It's your bendy pencils and your translucent cubic erasers. So they're really cool. I think it's something the kids are going to want to like take by a handful and take them home. And candy, per Bonnie's request. So I'll get some candy and put a,
Candy gets,
Oh, yeah.
gets the action.
I'll put a Pounders Library sticker, on each candy bar or whatever.
Maybe I'll do
So, I think that checks all the request boxes that you asked for. You're welcome.
We had a great spot last year. Right, yes, me too. We were like right in the corner there.
Okay, moving on to other upcoming events in the outreach category. We're going to be participating in a community-wide health and wellness fair, which is sponsored by the towns of Bedford, Lewisboro, and Pound Ridge, which will take place on Saturday, October 2nd from 11 to 4 at the Fox Lane High School. So for our part, we're going to be, we'll have a table with our brochures for our yoga and our Tai Chi and our mindful meditation. We'll be signing people up for library cards. We'll also be having one of our vendors is going to put on a demonstration either in mindfulness or yoga or Tai Chi or some combination so that folks can join in. And now if you love it, come for your free sessions at the library or via Zoom, whatever it might be.
Do you want board members there?
If you'd like to, by all means, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next one. Another outreach event is the library is having a volunteer fair on October 29th from 3 to 5. And this is an opportunity for local organizations to speak a bit about what they do and recruit new members and new volunteers. I contacted every board, commission, task force, organization, and club in Pound Ridge to invite them. And we're maxed out. We got great responses, so everyone that you see here on this list will be appearing, and I don't have any more tables or room to put anybody, so that's why I have to cut it off right there. So I'm very pleased with the turnout for that.
Now, is this going to interfere with our interior?
No, it's going to be held in this room,
Okay.
so it should be fine. And then on the next slide is upcoming foundation events, and I thought Stephanie might want to speak a bit about those.
Yes. Okay, so the first event that we wanted to do was for a lot of the boards and committees that we have around town. So we'll be inviting, what's the right word?
Town officials?
Town officials.
And representatives.
Locals to the Thursday, November 3rd, which will just be like a cocktail party, light bites and refreshments. I think we're trying to get a photographer to come to town to come to the event as well, to just take some photos and invite some folks from the record review as well. On Saturday. Review?
Yes.
So,
That's November 3rd.
Saturday, November 5th, we are putting together a little afternoon for children and through teens. So we've got 3 authors coming, each for about an hour, and they'll be showcasing. So Brian Collier, Raj, I can't remember his last name. He's written P is for Pterodactyl and a couple other fun children's books. And Brian Collier is a illustrator as well, so he'll have a different sort of element that he's bringing to the event. And then Martha Hamler, who's she runs the Wolf Conservation Center just in town. She's more of a YA author, so we've got 3 different age groups, and we'll be here on Saturday, November 5th, sort of with no food, no drinks, but it's mostly just geared towards the children, or tops, then elementary, and then teens. So we're excited.
Okay.
Something to just keep in mind for the next board, and not for this event. When I was talking at the library in town, the bookstore, Bookseat, would love to work with us on these author visits.
Yeah, I had the same
She mentioned that as a teacher.
Yeah, I had the same conversation.
Yeah, so, and another thing, so Marilyn also, she has a bunch of connections to a bunch of local authors as well. So I think in January, we'd like to do one geared towards adults, and then sort of have it framed on well-being, and, everyone's sort of looking to do their New Year's resolutions. So I think we'll try to be more geared towards health and wellness for maybe January as well. So if anyone has any ideas, we can work with Clifty, we'll work with Marilyn, and open to suggestions. But we're, as Richard, sort of alluded to, I think we've got a great working relationship now. So I'm sad to see it sort of. I don't think it'll continue, of course, but it's been really great working with you. So thank you.
I have rescheduled the storytelling event to the spring because it was supposed to be our grand reopening event, and since we won't be grandly reopening. I think it's best to move it to spring, and like I said, I hope to make it a annual event if it's as popular as I hope it's going to be. And I'm really looking forward to it. One thing that is not necessarily a library event, but I think something Selena would probably like to mention to everyone, is the upcoming Bedford Playhouse.
Yeah, just that I've been involved with Bedford Playhouse, which is putting on a fundraiser, and it's a family event where they're going to be screening with the Wizard of Oz. And so the whole thing is Yellow Brick Road themed, and anyway, needless to say, I was talking to them and planning with that, and one of the ideas that we came up with was really tapping into the local libraries, and maybe we could do a storytelling event or musical munchkins or something like that where we tie in Wizard of Oz themed programming. And so we're working with Jennifer and Alan to come up with some ideas there, and hopefully, and they're very excited about this, so hopefully they can inspire some other local libraries. That's October 8th. Everybody get your
Okay, and then the last slide, if you would please, Anna. We were approached by Record Review about a profile piece called Read All About Us, where Record Review sends a professional photographer to take your photo, and then you're interviewed by the staff writer, where you tell the story of your business, and then it's very nicely professionally done. I thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to promote the library. The cost is $295 for a quarter-page ad. I don't know if you guys have anything in particular in mind or whatever. I'd be happy to speak as the director of the library, or we can put together a copy, ahead of time and just give them that and take a photo of I don't know what. Any thoughts? Suggestions? It's going to be the end of this month. I have to tell them yes or now.
What is a recurring column?
I think it's a once a year thing.
It's like an insert, it's an insert.
Is it an insert?
I don't know, actually.
It looks very professional and high quality to me. The way that it's not like sending a photo of yourself, kind of thing. They actually send the photo to a photographer. So I'm taking a class called Marketing for Libraries in the 21st Century, and this just set off the alarm bells. We're like, oh, here's a great opportunity.
I think, especially because we're changing boards and everything, I think it would be nice if we had a staff photo.
Yeah, so the whole staff, and our part-time and full-time
Yeah.
photo would be great in front of the library. That would be
Yeah.
great. And then I think instead of, I think reason they're too small for me. Just a kind of an overall description of what the library is, including programming, including, stuff like that.
Because I don't think any of us need to be in it to be quite
I
frank.
agree.
I think it should be the library staff. And, this way, the picture of all the part-timers and people that work here, people, oh, I saw this person at Record Review, I didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facial
So I'll
recognition.
approach them about that.
What do you think, Jennifer?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, marketing bells going off, absolutely. Okay, and then just as a final thing, I wanted to draw our attention to our wonderful trustees that are leaving us tonight. We really appreciate your hard work and commitment to the community as your role as trustees, and thank you for being a valuable player in the library's decision making.
That's so nice.
That's awesome. Thank you. I thought that you were bringing your seat.
I know, right?
Okay, that's it from me.
She's counting us being reelected.
It's an endorsement.
The only thing I wanted to point out, I already showed this with Jennifer, but I think it's personally, I think it's great, that the Boy Scouts have asked me, they can no longer use Coleman Hall in the winter for their meetings. They usually use the town park in the nice weather. So they've asked if they can use the library, which are Thursday night, 7 to 8:30. So it would be great to get that age group in here on a regular basis.
Could they be used downstairs?
Sure. Yeah, I hope they do. I think they'll be more comfortable that
I
way.
think so too.
It's funny because I've had Alan chasing them down saying,
I
you
know.
already have me,
They asked me Saturday night, so,
Make sure they all have library cards.
yeah. Absolutely.
No, but if it's a pizza and moving them, no, they're not moving.
No, we'll put them in the basement. And they actually, the troop has just really expanded with the younger kids, are growing up, and so it's actually a pretty nice sized troop right now.
I'll have to look into it. Do they have a library badge?
I don't know, I will find out.
So that's two.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, yeah.
Have the badge broken home.
It could be an opportunity too, to have a staff member here during that time where they might be able to take a photo out on the way out.
So when my daughter was in Girl Scouts, I met here in the shop.
Me too. I met with Marilyn.
Definitely
I
has
was here
been
Mondays.
used in that fashion in the past.
Well, it's nice now that we have 2 meeting spaces,
Yeah.
one for the kids, maybe, and one for this more formal adulthood, so.
A lot of the Brownies and Daisies meet here. I mean, my troop,
Yeah.
Monday, Marilyn would come. And, yeah, we met every Monday here.
Jennifer, is that one of the tablecloths? The table?
It's one of the ideas I had to sort of, dress up the tables here.
This is ours, Nancy, ours, and lovely.
Selena had a great tablecloth that covers the legs as well, but unfortunately can't get your legs under the
And what's good about being here too, in case anyone doesn't know, is that these doors lock. So when you have little kids here and there's only 1 or 2 Brownie troop leaders, we have like 20, 25 kids, the door's locked, so they just use the bathrooms, and that's it. My only thing is with the Boy Scouts is the bathroom situation.
If they're downstairs, we.
Yes,
Yeah.
the bathroom situation, I mean, for the Boy Scouts.
Also,
No, I know, I said they were boys, but.
can someone go downstairs to the new meeting space? I bought those charcoal bamboo things used for downstairs. I didn't notice any difference, but
Okay.
Is there anything else?
I'm done. That's it from me, sorry.
That's it?
This is about program. Reminds me, Jennifer, you're talking about this kind of,
Oh, Lisa, we skipped over you.
okay, then we'll do it again.
Go ahead.
That is the
Go
answer.
ahead, Mary.
No, but one of our potential, candidates, which you all probably know, Carl, sorry. Anyway, he has proposed a wonderful program for the library, and it's called Shakespeare in the Afternoon. And I would like him to just give us you a brief description of what it's about.
Sure.
I do hope that it takes off. Carl?
Yeah. I have been involved in a program at the Art Club here, led by one of my classmates. It goes this way. We meet in this particular case one day a week in the afternoon for about an hour and a half. We read consecutively a play. That is to say, nobody takes a particular actor or actress. It's not that a particular part. We just go consecutively through it. It doesn't involve any acting ability. And then as we go along, we talk about what is Shakespeare trying to do. Because as we all know, it isn't easy. And some of the language is a little bit different than what we're used to. But there are notes. And the books that we use, most of the people either get it from Amazon or get it through the internet free. Amazon, a book from Amazon, maybe $8 or something. But it's free. You want to go into the internet, you can get the play free. And there's one person who's the moderator, which I propose to be, not because I'm so great at this, but I don't think anybody else wants to do it. We try to limit this to maybe 10 people. And it's all on Zoom, by the way. It's all Zoom. But we could have it physically in the library if you want. But it's probably better Zoom. And we've been doing it now since the pandemic. We've sent out Marilyn has sent out a notice proposing this Shakespeare in the Afternoon. And we'll see if we get any reaction. And as I said, I think we haven't said this, but I think we have a limit to something like 10 people or so. Because if it gets too large, you don't get to say it. So we do this once a week. And I invite each of you, of course, if you'd like to do this. you in particular. It's not for everybody, but why don't you try it? I've been doing this now for about 10 years, and it really works. We've gone through every single play at least 4 times. We've just gone one after the other, and we get around and go back to the first one. And since I buy them on Amazon, I have now a library, huge library of paperbacks, which I'm going to give to you, Jennifer, when I finally stop talking. But I think you might like it. What do you think?
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It is.
Well, great.
Thank you. Lisa, do you want to add anything on the programming?
Does everyone want an update or?
Sure.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, please.
This is so exciting, the program. First, I just want to say it's been an honor to serve with all of you guys, the town of Pound Ridge. And I'm certainly happy to, whoever takes over the programming, sit with them, and, I mean, I did nothing other than be the liaison between our amazing staff and the board. But, happy to share the job duties with whoever takes this on. Okay, so I just wanted to note the circulation numbers. I don't know if all of you guys, board has reviewed it. I think we're doing fantastic for the size of our town, and you know, we can't compare ourselves to a town like Chappaqua. Their population is 5 times the town of Pound Ridge, and you know, I think compared to some of the smaller libraries, we're right on par. So I was happy to see the circulation throughout all categories. I'm happy with our numbers. I'm guessing our staff is as well. As far as the programs go, we have some special events, like we have been so good and so diligent about bringing to the library. So again, proud of our staff for being creative and offering these really great programs. Next month is Domestic Violence Month. We have a great program, a presenter from Westchester County, the Office for Women's, Darlene Rita is going to be doing a presentation here. We have our very well-attended Peter Muir concert coming up again, actually next weekend, I think it is. We have a really great film program, which is also very enthusiastically attended. We're doing a new series on grandparents on film internationally about the connection of grandparents and their grandchildren, which I thought would be really interesting. We're also doing a climate program. Actually, this week it's going to be on Zoom. We're collaborating with the New York City Climate Week, and the topic is "Can sustainable food save the climate?" That should be very interesting. Our regular programs for adults has been consistently well attended. Deirdre Green's programs, fantastic. Kim Kovacs writing series. We just restarted, I think, our fall series, or about to start. To date, we have served 7,167 adults in our adult programs, which I think for a small community is phenomenal. Our teens, I know we struggle with that category, but we're again doing the SAT and ACT reviews, which
It's coming back, so.
yeah, which should be great. I mean, it's just nice to offer that for teens in the community.
My only comment to that program is that we have to get it advertised at the Fox County Middle School, High School.
I think
Somehow we have to get it advertised. Those are kids that are looking at our website.
Again, I worked with one representative at Princeton for the past 3 years, and then in the past, I don't know, year and a half, I've worked with maybe 3, and then they've all gone back to graduate school. So now conversation with her on Friday, and I told her that, or asked her rather politely, to please, contact, Fox Lane.
There's a Pound Ridge resident who used to be the principal of Pres, who is now at Fox Lane High School as an administrator. Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, somehow if you contact her, I mean, that's great that she's gonna do it, but we need to follow up too, to make sure it gets up there. Because that age group is not looking at our website, and they're not looking at our Instagram.
Well,
They're looking at other Instagrams, but they're not looking at ours.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, and then, anyway, we can get at ACT, because I know a lot of kids are also.
We do.
We do both.
Okay.
We do both.
both.
And I also, whenever, we offer the exams, I put them both on the adult and teen sites because the teens, as you said, don't look at the website. The
Yeah,
adults look
and then Dave Goldberg's email last week, because that would
Yes.
reach these parents, so parents will force the kid to do it.
Right.
Hopefully, hopefully.
So,
Yeah, no,
and just this week, as I put in
I want to go Saturday to study my SATs.
One thing that I've seen done, I don't know that we can do it, is have the college freshmen come back and talk to high school seniors. I don't know if the school does that, but that goes very well attended also.
The school does a lot of programs like that, they're really good about that, especially with, I know we've done programs with drugs and drinking and stuff like that. They actually invite kids that have gone through Fox Lane and success stories as well as non-success stories.
Wow.
And it's very powerful and impactful, instead of, no offense to anyone here, but having a 56-year-old kid, adult rather, talk to kids, they don't relate and they shut down.
Who we need to get in touch with is the guidance counselors over there, because they are really the college counselors for
Yes.
the kids. And that's our, and I'm very active with the special education department, anything that we do, like a social group that I'm trying to start for the special needs kids. They're all over it, and they'll disperse the information through all the teachers and everything, so that's where we want to be.
Alcohol prevention, was on the Drug and Alcohol Prevention Council for Fox Lane and stuff, they do an excellent job with that. So if you want to get involved in that too, there.
Can I just ask you a question about the ACT and SAT, because I was actually looking for it the other day and now I found it. But is there a reason it's only Zoom? Like, was Princeton not willing to come in person?
They're only offering over Zoom.
Because the tests are still in person.
I know,
Yeah.
but since COVID, they are not doing it in person anymore. Even though they've been improved as far as COVID is concerned.
Yep.
So I think when we used to have it here,
Yeah.
you know, the attendance was better.
Yeah, that's what I don't think you're gonna get good attendance. I mean, just to be clear.
Much better.
It's bad enough if I force my son to come in person. Me sitting here forcing him to go on Zoom is not gonna happen.
And ACT and ACT Prep is available 24/7 on tutor.com, which is free through WLS. It's just, again, trying to make people aware of it, which is, again, one.
Yep.
I was telling Ann today, I think we should start a marketing subcommittee and make a marketing plan and vision statements and start moving on that.
And as I put in my report, this whole week, for Lisa, I don't know if you want to talk about it, this whole week I had booked a week of college admissions preparation
Yeah, which is very
workshops
good.
for parents and kids. So hopefully they were attended. And then also I have my friend Ron Peters coming back in October, I didn't know that, I'll know that next month. So, good food, that's it.
Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. I'll just recap. So the kids programs, all of our regular programs have had consistent attendance, with the exception of musical Munchkins, which has gone through the roof, because when we were doing it on Zoom, we have like 4 kids, and now we're getting 35 or 40 kids parking, our ongoing parking challenges is a continued issue. So, we've been doing it at the town park, we're scheduled for September and October for the park.
Right, for September and October, we're scheduled at the town park. If there's inclement weather, we're at Corner Hall, so tomorrow's supposed to be
Good.
Yeah.
nice weather,
Tomorrow's
so
will be
we'll
good.
be
Yeah.
at the town park. Even though the grass will be wet, they all.
But the underneath area is all cement.
I know, but the nannies are pretty stubborn. They just set up, their blankets
Yeah.
where they soak juice and that's where they're a pretty mindset group.
Okay.
Not to be disrespectful, to them, but they just set
My,
up.
my one question is, it's one of the programs that's going to be at Conant Hall. Do you
Yeah.
think they have more parking than we do?
I was just gonna say that.
Well,
They don't, so when I saw Conant Hall,
Yeah.
I was like, we might as well just have it here.
well, it's just to,
I saw you
but
before.
my thought process, Bonnie, sorry,
That's okay.
was, just to eliminate the problems that we had here, and also, when I booked the program there, I thought that the construction
Oh,
was
it's gonna start.
going to be
Right.
going on here, so I thought that would eliminate some of the problems.
Sure.
So, that was also
Okay.
in my mind.
Because it's a difference, I think, just because they actually have a store that's open next to them.
Exactly.
And I really hate to block that parking lot because their store's open for retail.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. But,
But I see you're thinking you thought we would be closed.
yeah, so, as I wrote also in November, December date, over could be every day at Carnival, because obviously the holidays, we have some functions, things of that nature, holiday lunches, holiday. So there are some days where usually lunches that usually would work out, there's no happening here.
Okay.
We'll just have to deal with
Okay.
it. So,
Alright, and that's pretty much it. With the kids, we have, our attendance is 3,433 year to date, which is amazing. I know, it's really good numbers for a small community. And, you know, our population is 5,000, 30% of them are weekenders, so all things considered, these are fantastic numbers. And that's a wrap.
Well done.
Okay, I think that should conclude the agenda. Let's open up now for a few minutes. Are there any public remarks? Going once, going twice.
Round of applause for outgoing students.
Okay, so it is now 9:05, and this concludes the September general meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Sure, we're just meeting